Okay, now when we're talking about pinnacle exercises, one of the best alternatives, and even that works in a complementary fashion, is a high quality leg press machine. Now this one here, this is what I call a leg press, okay? Very well designed, very sturdy, runs on high quality ball bearings, excellent. See the angles we've got here, fully adjustable. This is the sort of leg press that's going to give you the body shaping results and also the mass and strength gains that most people want. Okay, Matt. Now, even though this exercise you've probably seen, and I know a lot of people have probably done this exercise, very few people know how to place themselves in the position, in the biomechanical positions that are going to exert the most force and also take a lot of pressure and a lot of risk and potential risk for injury off the spine. Now, Matt, what I want you to do with this exercise is place your hands on your hips. That's it. Holding there. The reason why I've got Matt to place his hands on his hips with his thumbs and his fingers touching his pelvis is because when most people do this exercise, when they lower the platform down, their pelvis lifts off the chair. Now, I'm going to get Matt to do this exercise incorrectly in a minute so you can see what I mean. But what this tends to do is round the spine. And remember, as soon as you round the spine, you're placing everything in a much greater chance for injury. Okay? But we're going to do it correctly first. All right, Matty, what I want you to do, mate, move the collars out of the way. That's it. Now, slowly down. Now, the key angle that I want to try and get Matt down to now is at least this 90-degree angle with his knees and hips. Okay, Matt, slowly down again and just pause for me. About there. That's the angle that you've got to strive to for every single rep and push up, mate. Good. Let's do 5 of those. Matt's keeping his chest up and he's also keeping his head flat against the bench. By pushing his head against the bench, that's going to help lock his spine into the right position. Good, mate. Keep going. Excellent. 2 more. Slowly down. Now, I want you to also notice how Matt keeps all of his feet on the platform as well. Now, what that comes down to is ankle flexibility, and I'm going to show you in a minute how to improve that. But one of the keys to this exercise is to make sure that you place your feet in a position that you can keep all of your heels on the bench. Good, mate, and rack it up. Okay, now the biggest mistake you can see Matty doing here is he's tilting his pelvis as the platform comes down. So his pelvis is actually lifting off the chair, and even slightly. And as soon as you start to do that, you're placing that spine in a very uncompromising position, especially that lower back. The irony is, a lot of people choose this exercise because they've got lower back pain from performing squats or deadlifts, so they think this is going to avoid that pain, when in fact what they tend to do is load this up, perform it incorrectly, and can actually cause greater harm and greater stress and more injury to your lower back. Okay, Matty, so with those hands on your pelvis there, lock that spine in position, keep your backside in the chair. Now, with your feet, what I want you to do is keep them there and keep your heels on the bench and push your head back into the chair. What I want you to watch for here is the angle that Matty achieves with his knees and his hips. Okay, mate, let's try and do 6 good ones. Good. Right down, focus on every rep. Perfect, that's 2. Achieve that 90-degree at least every single time. Good. Most people, when they get tired when they do this exercise, they tend to shorten the range of motion. Yeah, they get their reps out, but they don't focus on getting every single rep perfect. Good, mate. Good. What's that, 2 more? All right. Nice and deep, be precise, and hold. Perfect. Good. 1 more. Good work, mate, and rack it. Now just watch Matt's knees. A common mistake that a lot of people tend to make is on the way up, their knees concave, and that's a weakness in the vastus medialis. That's one thing you've got to look for. What we've got to strive to do is keep the knees and the ankles in one plane. Okay, Matt, now focus on those knees. Now try and keep them straighter. Good man. Now remember, the whole secret to effective high overload training is to keep the stress on the muscles you're working. Now another mistake you always see in the gym are lifters that place their hands on top of their thighs during this exercise. Now a lot of people use it as an excuse for some sort of stability, but that's not the case. Whatever you're doing, you're still assisting those quadriceps do the work by placing your hands on top of your knees. The key to this exercise is to maximise overload in the quads and the glutes. So Maddie, remove your hands off those knees and place them on your hips. Good man. Now slowly down, knees out. You got it. Okay, another big mistake you often see people do with this exercise is they think with these handles, by wrapping their hands around these handles and locking themselves into the chair, that it's going to assist with this exercise. Remember, what you're trying to do with any type of movement like this, you're trying to place as much overload on these as you possibly can while keeping this in the safest position you can. Now, by placing your hands on these handles, what people tend to do is lock themselves into a position where they round their upper half of their back and their pelvis starts to lift off the floor. And they actually use this as some sort of leverage to push the leg press up. I always recommend, with any type of exercise, you're trying to get the most out of every single rep. And what that means is keeping the overload on these prime movers. Now to do that, that's why I always teach my trainers, have your hands mat, place your fingers, your pelvis, hands on your pelvis, that's it, thumb and forefinger, good man. Now by doing that, Matty's going to feel automatically as soon as his pelvis starts to lift off the bench. This way, there's nothing for him to anchor against, all the stress stays on here. Okay mate, let's try about 4. Good, right down, nice and deep. That's the one, good, that's it. The key to this exercise is to focus on the way down, not so much on the way up. As the weight's coming down, you're trying to work as hard as you can to get yourself into the right position to produce the most force. What that means is keeping your hands on your pelvis so you've got feedback to make sure that spine stays in the right position. Good man. One more, or you're done? Okay.